So a lot of people ask me about struggle, entrepreneurship, and yeah, it is difficult. It is really difficult. But when I think of what my father had to go through in terms of the struggle, I think that everything that I've been through up to now it's really nothing. And instead of telling you the story, actually, I'm next to my father right now. I wanted him to talk a little bit about how it was going from Uganda all the way to Montreal here.
Oh, it's a very long story, but I'll try to summarize it within the next couple of minutes. I was born in Uganda, in the northern part, in a village. No running water, no electricity. And we had to get everything we wanted to eat from scratch, which means that we had natural foods, nothing processed and nothing machine refined. And at around the age of 17, I applied for a Uganda government scholarship to go and study in then Czechoslovakia. There were 3 scholarships, and they turned me down. They said, "We're already selected. So that's it, you can leave." I said, "But you sent me a letter saying that the interview is today." He said, "Well, don't worry, it's a piece of paper. We've already selected." So I struggled on my own, and I ended up in Czechoslovakia at the language school.
Communist country. And sorry,
Yeah, communist country, and
what year was this?
65.
1965.
1965 is when I left. I was getting close to 18 years of age. And when I reached there, they told me, "No, you're destined to go to a vocational school." And I said, "No, I have finished all my high school. And according to your education system, I qualify to get to the university, not vocational." And they tried to say no. And I also said no. And eventually I told them, "In that case, I am quitting." And when I threatened them with quitting, they said, "Okay, we'll see how you perform." So I performed well. I sat for the veterinary entrance exam, and it happened to be that I was the only foreign student who was admitted among all those. So I did veterinary medicine and graduated in 1972. Then I had to make a decision, where am I going to live? In the meantime, I worked a little bit in Germany. Then it was West Germany. And I did all kinds of jobs, whatever I could lay my hand on just to make a living. And in 1974, I went back briefly to Uganda, got back in February, and by the middle of the summer I had had enough. I could not tolerate the dictatorship, the government, and then also the conditions. So I worked hard and found myself out of the country. I went to the University of Guelph. I had done admission, and I did my master's and PhD in microbiology, specialized in immunology. And then I was given a first job in Quebec, and I didn't speak a word of French. By then I had learned to speak Czech, and I had learned to speak German. Then I said to myself, I'm going to have to start again learning another language. I cannot do it. But then I looked and said, yes, you can do it. Having struggled all from there to here, I said, yes, you can do it, and I'm going to learn French. So I started taking French courses, and within 3 years, they told me, to the classroom now, you can go and teach.
So you went from not speaking any French to teaching a French
teaching
class?
in French, immunology in
Wow,
French.
that is...
Okay? And from then on, everything came as if it was on a golden platter. But there was a lot of struggle. The most important thing is never give up in life. If one door shuts, you just go and open another door. If that one is too hard to open, go try another option. You might find a door that suits your personality, and you just move on from there. So all these people who give up and say, I can't, I tell people, never say I can't. There is no such thing as I can't do it, I can't do it. You can do it. And if this one is a bit too hard, you might find another one more exciting, or another one which is even more difficult, but to your liking. Okay? So I've ended up living here in Quebec, all the way from no running water, no electricity, to having to drive here in snow and tolerate the heat in the summer by putting in air conditioning and all that. Everything is possible if you put your mind to it. I remember I used to tell you when you're a kid, eh? You never liked to do manual work.
No.
So I told you, son, if you don't like doing manual things, then you better crack your butt and get into education.
Yes.
You still remember that, I'm sure.
Of course I do. So,
okay. So it's a question of putting your mind into it, and each time give your 100%. That way when you fail, you know that it's not the percentage which failed, it's something that you could not control that went wrong. But otherwise you give 100%. Okay? That's the motivation I try to tell a lot of people. And I have motivated a lot of young people who went through the vet school. What am I going to do? What can I do? What do you recommend me to do? And this and that. I look at their personality and I try to match them with what they can do.
Mm.
Okay.
So doubling down on what you're good at, and then really focusing on that.
You mean me personally? What am I good at?
No, I mean when you speak with other people, you match your personalities with what
Yeah,
you're good
I
at.
look at them and say, what is your interest? What do you want? You want to go to, let's say, a vet student. I want to do some graduate studies. And I look at him, I think you might make a good scientist. So I recommend you go and do this and that.
Not me personally, Dad.
No, I saw you and I saw a potential in business for you.